Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Baraka Beckett. I'm going to be reviewing the second compendium in the Invincible series. Now, this is where I was really excited to read because the first one was cool. It was cool for what it was worth. But the main reason I wanted to read these books is so I could actually learn past what the show is dealing with plot wise. So I finally got to that here, and I was not disappointed. This book was outstanding. And it's truly one of those things where I can't wait until the show catches up to where this book is because it's really something special. However, there was something I didn't note in the first compendium as far as differences was the character of Amber. Amber is a very infamous character in the series, and she's very controversial, especially with show watchers. And I'll tell you this, and this is just me being honest, she is better in the show than she is in the book. And I know that sounds crazy because she's not that great in the show, but in the book, oh my goodness. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but she's one of the dumbest characters written that way, dumbest characters in the book that I've ever seen. And it's one of those things where it's like, I know I'm talking about the previous book, but it's one of those things where it was like so not cool. So the book's already in a good spot because there's less Amber. But what does this book deal with? So it deals with Mark kind of embracing almost consciously but unconsciously the darkness that dwells within him, because in his head he doesn't want to become his father. He wants to be a good hero, but his life circumstances make it very, very, very hard for him to still maintain that I guess moral high ground and still at the same time save the world. Um, and this is kind of shown in this conflict with Cecil, which is shown in the show, but conflict with Cecil where Cecil is rehabilitating his former villains, and Mark is upset by that. Um, and that's mainly the stuff that's covered in the season. Now, I'm really gonna focus on stuff post season three show because that's the stuff that is really interesting to me, and it's really stuff that really, when I see it adapted to the big screen, it's going to be really special. So they pretty much get right into the Viltrumite War pretty quickly. I mean, there's something where Mark is forced, or not even forced, he ends up killing a man named Russ Livingston. Um, and he's killing him because he's the Sequoid leader. Not leader, but he's been infected by the Sequoids, and as such, the Sequoids are using him to essentially try to take over the world. Well, Invincible just kills him just to stop the Sequoids, and I don't know how I felt about this. I mean, he did make that promise to Oliver: if anyone threatens my family, whatever, I'll kill them. But it just felt like, damn, bro, you just killed him like for damn near nothing. Like, and the reason I say nothing is because Robot established in the previous book that he's able to create devices that remove the sequoids from the humans. So for Mark to just kill him there, I thought I was like, damn, bro, you really just killed bro for absolutely no reason. So that was something I found to be interesting. And then the Viltrumite War is where this book gets crazy. I mean, that war, it was something that I cannot wait until it's adapted to the show. But essentially, in this book is where we get introduced to the main villain of the series, and he's going to be the main villain even into the next book, and that's Thrag. And Thrag is the Emperor of Viltrum, and basically, he's a bad mother. He's a bad man. He's messing people up. He's with it. He's with it. He's very terrifying, and I think there's something to it where the main villain of the show or book hasn't even been introduced yet in the show, and in the book it happens midway through the second book. A lot of shows would introduce the main villain kind of early and have him overarch, but he comes pretty late, and I think that's cool. I mean, honestly, I think comparing this to almost an American Dragon Ball Z isn't the most unfair comparison of all time. But no, I enjoyed Thrag. I think some of his best stuff is happening in the next book, but he's really an important guy to this. Another character that's pretty important for Mark's development is this character named Dinosaurus. He's basically a dinosaur who can turn a human who has a dinosaur split personality, basically. And he's really somebody who challenges Mark's perceptions of what it is to be a hero and what a villain is, because Mark notices the intelligence and good that's capable within Dinosaurus. Um, but unfortunately, um, Dinosaurus is not he's not a hero, so he's not he doesn't care about human life the same way Mark does. So Mark actually kind of comes to an understanding of he can't save the world just punching bad guys one by one. He wants to, you know, he wants to do more than that. And Dinosaurus is a character that kind of, I guess, kicks that off within Mark. Another part of the book that I found to be very interesting is towards the end when um, we deal with Robots arc, which is basically a follow up of what happened when Robot traveled into the Thraxan world to try to kill, or not even kill, but stop them from attacking Earth. And basically, they spend like thousands of years in there, and it changes them completely. Because I mean, they spent more time in there than they did in the real world. And then they come back. They don't tell the people how long they've been gone, and basically, there's a whole crazy arc storyline. I can't wait for that to be adapted to the show because I think they're going to do a really good job. But it kind of sets up Robot to be almost shoot. If Thrag's the main villain, Robot's the second villain. I mean, if not the main one himself, well then Thrag's main. But Robot is he really gets into his villainy in the next compendium, but it sets up his villain origin story really, really well. Because he's kind of unsuspecting. You kind of knew he was morally like he didn't have the human empathy, but the book ends on the cliffhanger of him almost exposing himself to be a vicious individual, and that's really where the book ends off. And as far as what I thought with the actual war, Filter War, I mean the scale is pretty big. I think the show would do it more justice because it could show actually the action that's going on. The book isn't bad, but at the end of the day, I'm somebody who was first introduced to the Invincible world through the show, so I'm very much spoiled in the sense that I'm used to having voice actors, used to movement, used to a lot of stuff going on, but it's fine. I mean, it gets the job done absolutely. In the war, there's certain characters that come in like Tech Jacket. I really enjoyed Tech Jacket for what he was in. I kind of wish he was in the next book more, but Tech Jacket is somebody that I think is really cool. The concept of him being a like not a hero of Earth, but kind of a space hero that kind of specifies in space related threats. I thought that was really cool. Um, and yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this one. I think part of me wants to say this is the best one, honestly, just because the Viltrumite War is so impactful. Yeah, no, the Viltrumite War is just. I mean, that's really the the main thing that the book has been building towards. So that'll be all. I hope you enjoyed my review. I'll see you for the next one. Peace.